Hey everybody, welcome to this week's version of Bass Talk with Freekbass. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about both hammer-ons and pull-offs and ways you can incorporate those into your bass lines, specifically your thump, pluck, and or slapping bass lines. So I put together a little groove here, and I'm going to show you, we'll break it down, I'll show you ways to do it, and then you can tell me what you think. So it goes like this. Here we go. So there we go. That's a little groove. We're going to get into that in just a second. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, again, this is Bass Talk with Freekbass. I'm here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time over at the Facebook page, which is facebook.com forward or backslash, I guess it is, Freekbass Music. If you're watching at YouTube, you know it, youtube.com. The Freekbass channel. Please, if you're digging what you're seeing, please give us a thumbs up. And also, of course, please subscribe. And now also over at Twitch, which we're going to be doing a lot more stuff at Twitch coming up here very shortly. So, so this week, what we're going to talk about, one thing that I use a lot when I'm writing lines to give, just give some more musicality to my bass lines, are hammer-ons and pull-offs. And, you know, I've mentioned this in bass talks before in the past, but anything we can do with our hands to make something more musical on when we're playing is such a good thing, because, you know, again, trumpet players, saxophone players, horn players, they can, like, you know, blow harder, blow softer, tighten their lips up, do things to make things sound different musically. Singers, same thing. They can sing louder, sing softer. With us, it's everything to make it more musical. It's all based on our hands. And so technique, using some hammer-ons and pull-offs, especially when you start getting into thumping and plucking, which is what we're going to focus on today, it really will add a lot to your playing and make your groove so much. It'll just give it some new looks. So when you're creating bass lines, so let me show you the one I'm doing. You heard me playing it just a second ago, but this is what I'm playing, and this is what we're going to kind of do together today. It goes like this, okay? And I'll play it about the tempo it's at. It's pretty back, you know, in terms of tempo. It goes like this: 3, 4. So that's it right there. So it's in the key of A. We're in A minor. So what I'm doing, let me tell you notes first. We'll get into the technique right after that. So basically I'm thumping, and, you know, with thumping, you know, go back. I've got so many videos on actually the technique of thumping and plucking, i.e. slapping. So if you're on YouTube, just scroll through all the Bass Talk videos, or if you're on Facebook, to kind of hit the scroll, of course, after the show. What you're going to do essentially is you're going to thump G with 3rd fret on your E string and hammer that up to the 5th fret to A. Okay, now you might notice that I'm coming down, you know, my hands are plenty big enough where I can go in terms of between my 1st and my 3rd finger easily, like that. But for me, especially in these lower positions, and it's a lot from playing upright bass for so many years. Upright bass, when you're in lower positions, you usually focus on 1, 2, and 4. Even if it's between 3, you know, an F sharp or G, or in this case G sharp and A. And to me, I just think the angle when you come down, you know, if I was doing it this way, I have to change my wrist angle a little bit more when I'm doing it this way. I mean, that's a big difference in terms of change. So that's why I like using my pinky for between 1 and 4 in terms of fingers. So, but you can, if you like 3 better, there is no rules to it. I'm just letting you know what I do and I suggest in terms of playing this line. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna literally hit G and come down on A. So that's just one thump on the E string, and then you're using the weight of this finger to come down on that note. Now, one thing I want to say about hammer-ons that's really important is you never want the listener and or the other musicians you're playing with to know it's a hammer-on. And what I mean by that is that they're not thinking about technique or what you're doing or what you're not doing in terms of your left hand. You just want to make sure that note comes through. So if you're not hitting it twice, if you're not going, which we're just doing it once, for the hammer-on, you want to make sure both that G and that that G and that A have equal weight in terms of the loudness, the volume of the note. Okay, so once you do that, then we're going to thump C on the A string, 3rd fret. All right, now we're going to get to the pull off. So what we're going to do is we're going to then hit D, 5th fret on the A. We're thumping this too, by the way. And then you're going to pull that pinky away back to the 3 on the A. Now for pull offs, you don't want to come directly up, straight up in the air, like you might with a hammer-on. To me, it's almost kind of like you're flicking like a flea off your bass. You're almost kind of pulling down a little bit, not full down, but just, and that'll make a little bit. You're actually kind of like almost flicking the note. Now, also you'll notice that I'm already have my 3rd finger in place to the note that I'm going to. I'm not going like this. The C is already there with my index is already ready. So I already have that in place and already have that pushed down. So okay. Then we're going to go back to the A, thump that, back to the C. Oh, and you know what? I just realized that, you can thump it on the A, but you can also, this is what I do. I actually come down with my hand on that, but when we go back to that A on the 5th fret on the E, I'm not thumping it again. See, I'm doing that. Again, another reason why I think it's better to use the pinky, because you have all that weight of that hand over there on for you to do it. Almost again like playing like a conga drum. And then 3, 5, back on the E. All right, that's the first time through. I'll do it really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Oop. That's right, I come on that. And you could thump it too when you come back to the A. Or thump or no hand, okay? All right, then G, A. All right, the second time is exactly the same. And then all we're going to do is we're going to pluck 5, 7 on the D. So, first time. One time when I was jamming with my my Boss loop station, I came back and did a C to back to A to give it a little more variety. But you can just do that if you want. Now, again, this is a line I'm showing you that I think would be a good thing to kind of start with in terms of a practice thing. It's a good tempo. It's not too quick or anything. But there's anything, if there's a bass line that you're very already comfortable with of your own or another song you've learned, feel free to do that. Even simple things just like going across. Now, one thing, and I mentioned before, but I'll re-emphasize that again, thumping to me, whether you're doing thumping or pulling off, the other finger you should have down the whole time. So if I'm hammering, it's not like I'm going like this. I'm not pulling that back away. I'm leaving that down. Okay? And then, same thing with the pull off. Already have that in place. All right? And then you're good to go then. So let's listen to that with that groove one more time. All right? So check it out. It's like this. Yeah, and so there you go. You can have fun with that all day long. So again, don't worry about trying to rush through it. And just make sure, even if you just start on if you're a total beginner and you just started playing bass, in the last couple months or something, just do those 2 notes. Just work on that. And you can do it finger style too. Works either way, all the way across. So let me know any questions. Please leave any comments below, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. I will answer every single one of them. Everybody have just an amazing week. Again, I'm here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. I've got an amazing guest on this week's Saturday Night Chit Chat, which is actually going to be on Sunday this week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So keep an eye out for that. But I got the Mr. Daru Jones, who is Jack White's drummer, is going to be joining me on this week. And that's at Facebook, facebook.com, Freekbass Music. So everybody have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Keep playing more bass. The world will be a better place if we played more bass.